Can we do this stuff first?
Yep.
Is that okay?
Yes.
Okay. Not this.
Yeah.
Just for the record, I requested this meeting based on the information that I received with Nancy's blessing and with Lynn being notified regarding the hiring of the executive director. As you all know, we had a discussion on the June 20th board meeting and also the July 14th board meeting, which I reviewed the recordings this morning. We talked about the process and we talked about hiring
Oh, that's Peggy.
Peggy.
and hiring a consultant. I myself, and I'll speak for myself, I was under the impression that the consultant was mandatory by DHCD, that it was a requirement by them. It is not. It was an option. I also did ask about the payment of the $5,800. Did that include advertising? And I was told yes. But then last Wednesday, when I received the document from Nancy regarding his proposal, on item 2, it says, cost for classified advertisements placed in newspaper, Narrow, and Feda, printed and website advertisements would be billed to the Warren Housing Authority. That really shocked me. And knowing that we were gonna pay him $5,800, for what? For him to write an ad? Well, any one of us here qualified to do that. I mean, you could have written the ad, I could have written the ad, any board member here could have written the ad. To pay $5,800, I did follow up with Donna from Mass Narrow. An email was sent on July 25th to Mass Narrow asking for the information, the ad, once it was approved by DHCD, to go into the classified section of the Mass Narrow newsletter and on their website. Unfortunately, Mass Narrow's newsletter comes out every other month. So on July 25th, May and June had already come out, and July and August was due, and not due to come out until August 18th, which made his deadline in his ad moot, because he said the deadline was August 15th. So here is Mass Narrow's July, August newsletter, and there are 3 executive ads, executive director ads, and ours isn't in it.
Okay, she's got the picture.
Yeah.
I searched it, it did not go in it.
I know, this is the,
No.
this,
No,
There's more than that.
there's more than that. I looked under Mass Narrow, it says Career Center searching for openings, search result, no openings found for
No,
Warren.
it's found for Warren.
okay.
So never
So,
again.
well, I went on just the newsletter, because that's what,
Right.
I had 2 conversations with the consultant. And the first conversation started out a bit
Yeah.
challenging, to say the least, but it then kind of calmed down and we were able to make some headway. The end result of that conversation was he wanted to get approval from Evelyn, from DHCD, before he would agree to doing anything with changing anything. And so I kind of laughed inside and then said, okay, I need to talk to the powers that be and see if I can send an email to Evelyn, if it's okay. And so that's what I did. I sent an email to Evelyn, and 2 days later I got a response. I did make Lynn and Nancy aware that I was going to reach out to Mr. Lico and let him know what her response was, because he wanted her phone number, which I got permission to give the phone number. I did. He called and left a voice message. She didn't, to date, I don't believe she has returned his phone call. Once she sent the email, her email basically said, DHCD isn't involved in this. Your consultant was just a list that was sent to you. It was up to you whether you wanted to use them or not. We don't guarantee their services, and basically it's all up to us. So now we have this question of the bill, which we'll get to later. So in his executive search, he states that the very first thing is he's conferred with the Warren Housing Authority Board of Commissioners in order to determine how best to have the qualifications of the new executive director meet the goals of the Warren Housing Authority. Well, I asked him, I said, I have 2 questions for you. Once you answer those both, then I'll have a third. So that was the first question. Did that meeting happen? And I was asleep. And he said no. And then there's a second, and he said he would meet with the board to determine the best approach for the Warren Housing in the development of a search committee. So I asked him if that meeting had happened. He said no. And so I said to him why. That was my third question, why? So he gave an answer that I'm not gonna repeat because I don't find it credible. It was more of an excuse to me than an answer. So basically he confirmed none of those things happened. He didn't follow through with his proposal. He said he would receive and screen the applicants' resumes generated by the job postings. Okay, we could have done that. Submit to the board the names of qualified applicants based upon the criteria stated in the posting and any revised job descriptions. A matrix will be generated for the board to review, which he then said he was going to send that. In the second conversation I had with him, he was going to send it to Nancy, but I said, the executive director is not supposed to be part of this process. She can't hire her own replacement. It's supposed to go to Lynn. And so I said to him, let me make a phone call, because I wanted to make sure I was doing whatever Lynn wanted me to do, and said, is it okay if I give him your email address and instructions? And she said, yes, of course, and I did. And did he ever send you those?
No.
Still haven't got them.
Nope.
He might be holding on to them because he's not quite sure whether he's gonna get paid. What I want you to know is everything that he put in, whatever email he sent on July 25th to Mass Narrow for their newsletter or their classified section is all free, no charge. So that's not something we have to pay for, and that wasn't anything that he was gonna have to pay for. It was, but, right, exactly. But what I'm saying is, so again, where does the $5,800 come in to why we thought about doing this with him? He then says after the board approves the list of finalists, and it is the board, and I've had several tenants come and ask me this, it is the board that makes the final decision and votes on the executive director position, no one else. And there's a lot of confusion in that. Please don't be confused, it's the board. The LTO will have an opportunity to express their opinion after reviewing applications and resumes. They can give their best choice, but again, it will be and always will be the Board of Commissioners that decides. One of the things that I heard from Mass Narrow, from Mass Union, and from the Mel King Institute, who does all the trainings for DHCD to help us. I'm doing a seminar with them on the 25th, and about hiring and all kinds of trainings. All three made the same statement to me. One of the most important jobs that a Board of Commissioners can do is to hire an executive director, and this board is going to do that. Okay? The background check and data, which will be forwarded to the board, will permit the commissioners to feel confident that they have excellent finalist candidates from which to choose. Okay, so I don't know if you, as an executive director, well, I get that question because you're not supposed to be involved. I happen to have a conversation with the town administrator, and I want to share that with you guys. He volunteered. He said, I'll do all of this for free. He said, I just hired 2 police officers, I just hired a new assessor, and he said, and I know all the laws, and I will follow through, I will do the background checks, I will do all of this. I will help you and your board out as much as I can, and it won't cost you a penny. So that's just something to consider. I mean, yeah, and sometimes that's what we need to do, is if we reach out to other people. The Board of Selectmen are willing to announce this position at their meeting. The town administrator is willing to put this position on their website, the town website. So there's a lot of avenues that we can cover. My concern and the reason why I did this was because I was watching the newspapers, and I had some residents in town call me and say, when's the ad coming out? Where's the ad? What? And I did, and it never showed up, except that on August 11th, Thursday, it was in the Ware River News. It was only in for one day for that week. Unfortunately, it gave a deadline date of resumes to be turned in by the 15th of August, which basically, if you go by our business days, we're closed on Friday, we're not open Saturday and Sunday, the town hall is closed on Fridays. It basically gave people in town, local people who see the Ware River News, 48 hours to get their resumes in. That is not what DHCD's regulations, guidance says. It says a minimum of 2 weeks. So he was at fault, and I have an email which I gave to you guys, where he basically was offered, do it for 2 weeks at 200, and when I tell you what I got for prices now, you're all gonna go, for 200 and some odd dollars, $234 or something to that effect, I don't wanna go through these papers, and would give us a third week for free. In his email, he said, no, just the one. But when I asked him in the telephone, because I sent him this PHN from DHCD, their guidance, I sent it to him in my email, and he said, I already have that. Well, you need to read this because it says a minimum. The word minimum means no less than. So, quite frankly, based on everything that I have done, everything that I have researched, $5,800, I'm questioning, is that wise to pay him? Let me just go over my notes. The town administrator, okay, so the last part of this that I'm gonna tell you that I just found out was, I did some homework this morning as well, and I contacted the Worcester Telegram and Gazette, and I spoke to a woman named Christy who runs the advertisements for this type of thing. And basically she gave me a price. Everybody take a deep breath.
$400.
I wish.
$600.
I wish. I wish.
I bet you 1,000.
I wish.
Oh, no way.
Okay, which is really gonna make us wonder why we agreed to pay $5,800 for this guy. I now understand why he didn't wanna cover any of the ads. Okay, so I gave her a lot of options. Don't try to sneak. Drum roll, please. For 14 days,
2 weeks.
in 14 days for 2 weeks is $9,454.28. The six, and that's with no pictures, that's just a line, thing, no pictures. For 6 days, which would be 3 days 1 week, like Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Monday, Wednesday, Friday the following week, which we have to do 2 weeks, $4,166.12.
We can go by each word that you put in.
For one date, times 2 weeks. And all, that's $1,522.04. So that's 1 day in that 1 week. But it also goes in all of those minority papers on all those websites. It goes in a lot of places for 30 days. So,
That kind of money,
yeah.
we could follow.
So if you want to do 1 day, which we can't because the minimum requirement under is 2 weeks, so we'd have to do, it's $861.02. So we're still looking at a boatload of money. So my personal opinion as a board member is we try to see what we can do about not paying the consultant. That's my suggestion, is not to pay the consultant. Or give him a small amount for time, for sending emails.
Very small.
Because most of this money,
I did get the email from him, I just found it, it just came in.
which one?
The
application.
applications.
Oh, okay, for the matrix?
No.
That's what he said he was sending you, the matrix.
That's what it is then, I don't know.
Okay,
It's resumes and.
okay, the matrix, because that's what he says in his
Yeah.
executive session. Okay, good.
You sent it.
So, that's where we're at, people. We have a problem, because anybody, any minority, anybody with disabilities, any veteran could come back at us, because we're not putting it in. We're an EOE,
But he put it in the banner takes care of what you're asking, what you're saying.
but that comes free with the Worcester Telegram.
The banner?
It all the minority papers, all the, all of that, the websites, all of that, it goes everywhere. I mean, his email says he advertised in Michigan. Why? Why?
A long commute.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, yeah, it says right here in the response, it says 19, the largest weekly newspaper group, 19 total, in Michigan. I mean, yeah. So, I don't think I'm just telling you based on my two conversations with him. The second conversation was, once I explained to him what Evelyn said, then it was all, I'll do whatever you guys want. If you guys wanna add yourselves, you can do it yourselves. If you want me to do it. And I just said, I'm not the person that can make that decision. I made him aware that I had requested a meeting for today, and that we would all discuss it and see where we go from here, and that someone, me or someone else, would get in touch with him and let him know.
Did you try the Springfield News? I just wondered what they're.
I left them a message,
Okay,
and,
I know they're not cheap either, but.
yeah, I'll be willing to bet you that they're probably gonna be around the same for one day, maybe a little.
Yeah, Springfield I think is a little cheaper than
Yeah.
Worcester's terrible.
But it's still a big chunk of change
Yeah,
if
it
we've
is.
already shelled out $5,800.
We haven't paid them yet.
No,
Oh, God, no.
no, we haven't. We
I'm not
haven't.
putting my name on that check.
So, and then the only other question that I have is in Evelyn's email, she indicates that she sent an email to the entire board, May 2nd, 2022. Yeah, right here. This guidance was previously provided in email to entire board dated May 2nd, 2022. I have no trouble getting Evelyn's emails. Nancy's sometimes goes to junk. What? I have no trouble, and I always check junk, one by one by one. And I didn't get it. Did any of you get it?
Which
It's
one
a
is it?
PN 2021-03.
But it says right here, to the entire board
Yeah.
dated May 2nd, 2022. The guidance, is that what Lego is saying?
The guidelines for local hiring
That's-
of authority hiring of executive secretary, this one here.
Not a secretary.
Well,
I
that's,
mean,
that's
executive director.
this. You wanna look at this one, I'll make copies of, my
That's
printer
this one
decided.
here I have.
You have? Okay, great. And it says it supersedes the others, and it's pretty, Barbara has one that's much more lengthy and gets into a lot more information about other topics, other than just the hiring aspect. If you go page by page on that one, I perused it.
Yeah,
A
this
little
is
bit.
from February 23rd, 2021.
Mine's from, this one's dated September 17th, 2000.
Yeah. But then it does say in it that it,
This one she sent us.
This PHN supersedes PHN 2017.
okay, so does that one, so that's the one then we need to go. This is the one Mass Narrow sent me. This is the one Donna sent me. So, under recruitment and advertisement, does it indicate in that one that it's changed from the 2 weeks?
No, it's the same.
It's the same. So basically,
It's the same,
2 weeks of publication, publicizing.
yeah.
2 weeks after the publicizing efforts have been taken, then, yeah, okay, so basically, it's this one?
Online and newspaper advertisements should be placed at least once a week for a minimum of 2 weeks.
So once a week, so our hands are tied, we have to do it at least once for 2 weeks.
I gave him 5 months' notice, I think that was enough.
This
I'm
isn't
still
on,
here.
listen, I said this to you, his bad performance isn't on you, it's on him. What he did and didn't do isn't on you, it's on him. But at any rate, that's it in a nutshell, guys.
Well, I'm not so.
I will let you know
I
what-
will not pay him, so I'm not paying that $1,500.
I will let you know what, Springfield says. Mass Live, I'm waiting to hear back from them, you know, Mass Live.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a good place to.
I'm waiting to hear back from them, the same, yes, yeah, yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Right,
Springfield and Mass
right,
are the
right,
same,
Yeah,
okay.
so I have a call out to them as well, maybe, yeah. But,
You can't what?
you can't hear? Oh, God, I've never had that. People always
Turn the
tell me,
light.
speak up.
Speak up. Speak down.
Who didn't you hear? Oh, okay, crank up the volume, Virginia. So anyways, that's the reason I asked to have this meeting. I think we need to revisit this and come up with another plan.
Mhm.
And again, the town administrator has access to all of that, and he's willing to do all of it for us for free. So, I think we should probably advertise again for 2 weeks. With this Worcester paper, which I know is probably out of the realm if Mass Live is gonna be less expensive, they only need noontime the day before. So
Oh.
noontime the day before, the next day it's in.
Okay, so. I wouldn't pay him $1,500. It's up to you guys, but I wouldn't pay him.
No.
I would not.
Let's talk to Donna
You're
first.
Well, Dawn said no.
Donna said no.
Well,
Absolutely.
she's,
I want to
she-
hear her tell me no.
she didn't, this is what she said. When I told her everything, she said, "You haven't paid him, have you?"
Well, I want to hear her tell me no.
I have to wait till tomorrow. She'll tell you.
But should we not have a vote on whether our opinion, that we are in
We're
agreement
in
that
agreement that we need to,
not pay, or look into,
no, that we're gonna wait to see what the lawyer says. Donna is the lawyer for Mass Narrow, and I wish to hear from her as to what we should do as far as going forward with paying the consultant. That's why I wanna wait till tomorrow, I don't wanna just make a decision without speaking to an attorney. But as far as making the vote, I think there should be a vote as far as, doing the advertising part
okay,
for 2 weeks
Sounds
more.
good.
Right, so, wanna make a motion?
I make
Yeah.
a motion, we advertise for 2 weeks. Or executive.
The deadline though, can we make it 3 weeks?
You could be adding for 3 weeks?
No, put the
No,
ad
the
in for
deadline.
2
Yeah.
with the deadline of the week after.
Yes,
Yes.
that's fine.
Thank you.
Okay, I make a motion that we put the ad in for
So,
2
2 weeks.
more and
And
to give
deadline.
3 weeks.
Deadline.
The third week.
I second it. Oh, sorry.
That's all right.
Can I ask a question? Can I ask?
Hold on.
Okay, any discussion about this with the board? All in favor?
Aye.
I'm not even the board, and I said aye.
Any nays?
Okay.
All right, are we done with this
Yep.
discussion?
Can I ask a question?
Nay.
At the end?
Oh.
Sorry, whoa. Protocol.
So then you can sign it, because it's all we can do for this.
All right, and, are we gonna discuss the, that one other thing?
Okay, where are you?
Can you speak up a
One
little,
thing
please?
for David.
I will, when I get to the point, I will. All right, Nancy will be going on vacation and she's gonna be having some surgery, so, there are some projects being done. The question was as to who's going to be signing particular things that need to be signed when she is out of commission or away. So, we discussed it with the DHCD, and we're also going to discuss it with Donna Brown, who is the attorney, to find out if David can sign off or sign certain things that may need need to be signed, or if we will need to have a temporary, interim director be able to sign these papers for
David?
us.
Who's David?
David is the maintenance person.
Well, I don't know.
That's okay, it's an okay question. Slap her back, give it back to her. Don't let her accept
She
it.
loves David and she
Okay.
forgot him just like
It's
that.
okay. Anyway, so before we make the decision, we're gonna ask Donna.
If it's
Because
okay.
if it's okay, because, there's projects that are being done that sometimes, something that may be done on a Thursday that they may decide they wanna do on a Monday, that may need extra money to finish something, may need to be signed. So we just need to make a clarification before there's a decision made. We're gonna ask the attorney. So that's what we're discussing.
I have a question. When we're talking about an interim executive director, DHCD has a whole list of the way that's supposed to be done. Are we gonna
That's
have to do
No,
that?
that- no, that's
This is
different.
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 This
This
is
is
just for her
temporary,
to sign.
Just for that signature
Just
for
for
these?
signature while she is
Okay.
on vacation,
Okay,
not like she's gone, just because she's
Yeah, I
had
hope not.
surgery or she's on vacation.
but she's
Just
not
somewhere.
planning on coming back.
No, I'm gonna be available, I'm not going anywhere, I
She's
can't
not
get
going,
out of
she's
the house
still
for a
gonna be
month.
around until we
Oh,
get a director. This is not the same thing as a management person
No,
that will be
okay.
taking over her position. This is just somebody that say, he needs something signed, we can go, okay, go over to West Brookfield and have them sign it, so that he can
Yeah.
do the project.
Okay. Who
That's what
got to you? Because as far as you told me, once September comes,
Well, I'm sitting there,
you're out of there. You said, how am I gonna drive? I can't drive there after you have your surgery.
that's what I said to Camden, you should've got your damn license, because I can't drive, kid.
Okay, so that is,
So
the
Sheila says,
discussion.
well,
Is
I'm
there
online, I said, oh, thank you,
any discussion on this? Anything they wanna say about it? Is it okay?
it's okay.
That is the plan and what I would like to do.
Yep.
It's okay?
Yeah.
Okay, that's all I have left. Is anything else? Okay, then, we will end the meeting and then I'll take the questions.
No, we can't end the
Can't
meeting.
end the meeting?
Yeah, you
Take
can't
the
end the
questions?
meeting. You gotta take
All right,
questions from the
then we'll do
LTO.
it one to first.
Yeah,
Okay,
no,
take the
LTO
questions
and
first.
then,
See, she knows
then
more than me.
the tenants.
Okay, LTO, any questions?
Everybody's looking at me.
No,
No,
LTO
no,
first.
LTO.
LTO first. I'll get this right yet, you know? I'm
Okay,
still-
any questions?
Oh, I have a
LTO
question.
first.
Yes.
Yes.
Go
In
say
the
it fast.
interim, while Nancy is not here for that month or whatever, will there be a director filling in for her?
Handling the day-to-day.
Some of, I guess, some of the stuff, I mean, anything you need from me, it must be brought to me. 'Cause I
Yeah,
can't-
how do we get to your cruise ship?
Well, that's, that's vacation, you're not doing that.
I'll go with you.
We all will. How about we all get on board?
I think that was determined at the last meeting, we were all going.
No, if you really, if there's something needs to be done, somebody needs to know something, cause I can't tell a person what she should know.
That's like where
That's
the
crazy.
temporary person would be, and if there's a problem, then it would go to the temporary, ED person, which would hopefully be, yes,
At one point, Nancy, you went for surgery and we had somebody come in to take over your job so you came back. Right now, she is the director of West Brookfield.
yeah, that's what I'm talking about, seeing if she'll do it.
Or
Yeah, I
you
think
could.
she, I,
He can't, it has to be me. David's wonderful, but before David has so many things that he has to do himself. He can do so much, but he can't do anything that involves money.
that's what I was
What did we
saying.
do for the 3
Can
months
we
she was on
find-
sick?
Me,
Can we have,
I'll still be around, I'll still be doing that stuff, so,
Okay.
I'll still be here doing.
So that's an option.
can we have like, when you're a counselor or even the selectmen, they have somebody like from the assessor's office or another office, could we have like the police chief or the fireman? They can't do it either?
They're not part of the housing is
It
totally
has to be the
separate from
housing
any of that,
authority.
yeah. That's why we do this, that's why I'm discussing, talking about, the possibility of having a temporary executive director signing
Signing.
and being here as,
Yeah.
watching over us.
The other question I had, when you didn't take a vote about that $5,800, I thought you should have. So you could give it to the attorney and see how each member of the board felt about that money. That's how I felt as a tenant.
Well, I need to ask her questions first. I need to find out the answers before I go making decisions on money. You know, it's better to ask the questions and then make the vote, than to make a vote.
But this wouldn't be a binding vote, it could be a non-binding vote.
But whether I wait a
Right.
day or two, we're not giving them the money today or tomorrow or whatever. We haven't written any checks. So it's just better. I was hoping she'd be in the office
You
today, but she
understand what I'm
wasn't here
saying?
today.
It looks
I
better.
have a question for you, Paulette, cause I wanna be clear, and I'm not I don't know if I'm understanding your question. Are you talking about today, that we
Yes.
didn't do a vote? Or
Yes.
are you talking about when originally his proposal came through?
No, today.
And we didn't vote on it then, cause we
You
didn't.
didn't vote on it then either?
No,
Of course not, because
Oh.
you just did it.
Oh,
there was
okay.
no vote, I never even saw the proposal.
So you
His
never
proposal-
signed anything?
No,
No,
never
no,
saw
nothing
it.
signed.
I thought somebody had signed or you took a vote.
No.
Because I wasn't here that.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I never saw the proposal until last Wednesday.
Oh.
I don't
okay.
like to make any decisions till I have all the facts and I know that everything is done properly, because I don't rush into anything, so I wanna make sure that I'm doing everything legally, you know, cause it's easier
I know, they'll
to,
come back on you,
it's
I know.
easier to have them tell me what I need to do properly than it is to be like, oh my God, I should have.
Then they take you to court.
That's right, I don't wanna go to court, I don't want a free vacation behind bars.
As a member of the committee, can we have, meetings to be updated on what's going on with the hiring? Whether anything's happening or nothing's happening, or,
Well, just about, we have to advertise again, nothing is really happening here.
Right.
yeah,
You'll know when we know,
well, that's all.
that's pretty much it.
But
We
the
don't know when
but the
we're-
guidance is pretty clear,
Mm.
that you guys are supposed to be
Yeah.
involved.
Yeah.
You're supposed to put questions together, go over those questions, agree to those questions, so you clearly are,
You know,
And we're willing
Yeah.
and waiting.
Yes, we're all waiting, believe me, yeah, especially her.
you know.
They also need a copy of the guidelines for the position.
who knows?
These guys, oh, you guys got one?
Yeah.
Everybody does.
Alright.
It's a book.
No, the one that they just, if you just gave me.
No, at the,
May.
May board meeting, it was passed out, and they all opted for the short version, and I told Nancy to give me the long version. So, yeah, we have them.
Okay.
What if you've got 4 applicants and none of them,
Qualified?
yeah, and you really like them, can you then re-advertise?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
If you re-advertise and re-advertise and re-advertise.
But we have to really show the reasons. It can't
Oh,
be
yeah,
just because
yeah.
we know someone who knows someone who knows somebody,
Oh,
and we don't
no.
like them because that person
Yeah.
said something that wasn't. We have to go on the merits of their qualifications.
Right, yes,
Right.
there is names and everything.
Are you saying that there have been no applicants yet?
Yes, there are. There's
No,
six.
there are.
There are.
There's
Yep.
6.
Which I asked Mr. Lico to provide, I asked him, as a marketing tool, I said, how did you get 6 applications when you never placed an ad? And it was basically word of mouth.
It was really.
Yeah, we're-
And that bothers me, that's part of the reason why I wanted to really press this to advertise, because that could be construed as, us not really opening this up in a fair and equitable way.
And why is it a secret who these people are?
Well,
Why
because
doesn't the committee know?
They can know right now, but it's gotta be screened by them and the two of you.
Cause we just got it just came.
Just came in.
Yeah.
I
Oh.
didn't even know we had it until she just asked me if an email came.
Well,
I
because
just-
in that telephone conversation, he said he was gonna send it to you, and I said, no, you're not. I said, you're not supposed to be discussing any of this with Nancy. You're supposed to be discussing it with Lynn, our chair.
And he just gave him my email, so I just looked.
And so,
It's
yeah,
there right now.
and so he said he was gonna send it, but that was last Wednesday,
Of course, well, it's kind of slow.
kind of.
So when I get home, I can print it off, and it can't go out to everybody, because the
No.
resumes are something that's not supposed to go to everybody, it's
Right.
supposed to
But
go
you
to
also
the
have to have a
committee.
meeting to do it.
But,
But you have those 6 names, the
Uh-huh.
same names. Use, the board can look at them, and these 2
yeah,
girls
the
can look
committee,
at them right
the
now.
committee people, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Oh, and
I think-
also they don't have to go to DHCD.
No,
They
they
come
don't.
to us
Come right
because
to us.
DHCD does not decide. They review who we chose, and they review it in the manner of making sure we, as a board, dotted all our i's and crossed all our t's, and did it by the law. If we didn't and there's a problem, then I'm sure that you'll get an email. Or a phone
A
call.
phone call, yeah.
But it's not DHCD who decides, it is the board.
Yep, the board is the only people.
When you have applicants, could you please let us know?
We got them,
We
but
got
you can't
6.
see them until
No, it's-
they
the
look
process
at
is
it
done.
first.
They gotta look at them.
So
Okay.
we get them, we
Yeah,
get
but
them
that,
out.
those are from somebody who hasn't done his job as a consultant and
It doesn't matter,
advertising,
these are
but yet
people,
has 6 applicants.
these are
Right.
people who knew
So,
that
Right.
do we really wanna go with the applicant that
they. Of
he's?
course.
Yeah.
We
but
have
you
to-
have
look at
We
them.
have to under the law.
Yeah, you still have to look at them.
Yeah.
We have to under the
You're not
law.
gonna throw people out just because
Yeah.
they didn't see an ad.
Just
Yeah.
because
But
you
when I
think-
asked him, when you get an applicant, do you ask them, how did you hear about this? He said, no, why would I do that? And I said, well, it's a good marketing tool. If this is your business, you might wanna know where's the best place to put your information. And how is it reaching people and how are they hearing about it?
And also,
Yeah.
God bless,
So when we get.
every conversation
after
ends
2
in
weeks,
God bless.
we'll just gather them all together, and
Yeah.
we'll have our subcommittee get together, and
Yeah.
we'll all review them together.
Yeah.
That's how it'll work.
You know, so,
It won't be piecemeal, it'll all be put in a folder, we'll all sit down and we'll review them. That'll give you time to print them all off nicely, and everybody will be able to review them. Okay. Thank you. You're very welcome. Any other questions before we end the meeting?
Well, you know, you can weed out the axe murderers.
Oh, darn, you don't want those? That might make life exciting, send them my way, I got a few.
a he or a she or an it.
Yeah, and I got that X, you know, it might be an X. Who
Could be
knows?
X.
Or Z.
That's the new thing they sign in the thing, he, she, or it, what the? That's how it comes through now, give me a break.
I think that would be a couple of generations
Beyond us.
following.
I'm confused, so, it's whatever, we'll take them whatever, as long as they're good people, it doesn't matter to me, right? As long as they do their job right, they take care of our seniors, that's all that matters.
No.
That's
They
really,
gave it the
it's all
grab.
about that,
There's
so.
so many.
We really don't want AI
Oh, Any other questions before we end this meeting?
Thank you all for,
Thank you for all attending the
Coming.
meeting.
Oh, yeah.
Hopefully
we're
this
trying
won't-
to do our best. We're staying on top of it.
And enjoy the rest of the summer.
Yeah.
Gosh, it's going before we know it. You know, it's getting darker already.
You too,
It's getting
and
colder.
Yeah, it gets dark.
Nancy too, enjoy.
How can I enjoy still here?
Not here with us.
Oh, come on, you don't like seeing us all traipsing into your office?
No, I do, I really do, I will miss it, I really will. My car might just drive up here, without even knowing. It's been 29 years.
Well, you might be behind the wheel doing it and say, oh, what the heck, I don't work there. Why am I going there?
It's true, but you still have contacts from a lot of them, I have contacts with Granby,
Yeah.
as you saw at the meeting, you know,
Yeah.
came to me.
The party at the meeting, we had a meeting.
Do I have to have a special pass to come back and visit?
No. I'll let you back in, I don't know if it's he, she, or it.
Okay.
Well, thank you. It is now, I'm trying, it's 1:41.
And town administrator, what information, that's pending, we'll think about it
After she talks to Donna, right?
after you talk to
I gotta
Donna?
talk to
Okay,
Donna tomorrow.
okay, all right,
So I'll
thank
come
you,
and visit
sorry.
again tomorrow.
then let me know, so, cause, you know, I wanna let him know, I don't wanna keep him swinging in the wind.
No, we'll let you know.
Did you ever find out about that policeman that was supposed to come up here?
Oh, never, I called the station, I left a message for Dawn, nobody's,
Okay.
it's
No,
not
they're very
reassuring,
slow.
not
You
reassuring.
know, it's like hurry
Well,
up
we gave
and
him
wait.
dates, he's the one that asked me to do that. He said, send me email me a couple of dates and I'll let you know which ones work.
Well, everything is hurry up and wait, that's the way life is.
I make a motion.
Except when you're in a grocery line, then